Greetings! We decided not to work on a Huffy. I'm on strike. I refuse to work on Huffies. You know, like we do, we pop around on different projects. Let's talk about this Schwinn Varsity. You know, Schwinn Varsity got the bad rap. You know, I heard of a lot of people when I had my bike shop in Berkeley, they would say, Schwinn Varsity, the heaviest lightweight ever made. They were durable bikes, you know, they weren't bad. And they reintroduced America to bikes with derailleurs. You know, in 1959, actually, okay, from 51 to 59, you could get a Varsity, but it was a 3-speed. It was basically a Schwinn racer. You know, it was a 3-speed bike with chain guard and 3 speeds, and they call it the Varsity. You could get that. Okay, so the purists, you know, oh, Varsity started in 51. Yeah, it did start in 51, but it wasn't a drop bar bike and it did not have derailleurs. So you could get that bike from 51 to 59, but it wasn't a true drop bar bike. In 1960, that changed. In 59, like, Americans didn't even know what a derailleur was. Only a few handful of cyclists knew what rear derailleurs and front derailleurs did. They didn't even know how to ride those bikes. That was like a European thing. So in 60, the Varsity came out, and it was an 8-speed, available in the men's frame only. Hey, why is this spinning? It was an 8-speed bike from 60 to 61, and it was a man's frame only. And it was also, you had these shifters on the frame. It wasn't, the twin stick did not come about until 68. I believe the twin stick safety system, you know, up here, shifting up on the stem, that was called the twin stick, and that was 68, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It might have been 67, but I think it was 68. Okay, so you could get the Varsity in 8-speed versions. And then in 63, you could get the 10-speed. And I believe in 63, don't quote me on this one, I think you could get a girl's bike in the Varsity with a 10-speed. I'm not sure about that. It might have been the next year. Okay, so 63 was the first year you could get a 10-speed Schwinn Varsity. Now this one, it just looks like a run-of-the-mill Varsity, you know, nothing special. But when you look at the clues, it's got Nervar. Okay, these definitely need to be repacked. It's got the Nervar gear set. And it has the on-the-frame shifting. Okay, you know it's early. You know it's pre-67. I believe in 67, I got a little cheat sheet here. Yeah, I think in 67 was twin stick. So we know this is 66 and below. Okay, so let's look at the other clues. Oh, there's a little round badge on the front. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's got the round badge. Oh, it's got the little, there should have been like a little red leaf here. You can barely make it out there. There was a piece of rubber here with look, it says Arnold and Schwinn Co. Now that's a clue too. Arnold and Schwinn Co. Okay, that's a clue. Okay, from all the factors here, we looked at the serial code, and it is a 64, September of 64. We looked over here. Well, I could get my super light. Let me get the super light for you. Oh, by the way, I changed my whole shop. We dealt with stuff. Everything's up on that shelf and labeled, and I have room to have 2 bike stands and put the Huffy on hold because I'm so tired of working on that thing. Okay, but we're going to be positive here. Let's look at the number. J4. So that would be September of 64. Now I could look that up. The born-on dates are effective until 66. So I could look that up and get the exact date that I could actually look that up, and I might. Okay, so I got this from a friend of mine. It was a fair deal. You know, they know I look out for these things. So we know it's a 64. It's Nervar. The crankset is Nervar. You can always tell. It doesn't look like the normal, you know, late 70s, early 70s stuff. It's got the 5-spoke. You know, it's a little bit different here. That's good. I haven't ran a chaser through these yet. The only thing I've done on this bike... Oh, and that's bent. I can see that's bent. The only thing I've done on this bike is it was on flats and the tube liners were hanging out. So I put some used liners in and some used tubes I had laying around. And I just took the tires that were on it and pumped them up. And they seem okay, enough for testing. Now here's the deal when you find something like this. Well, this is what I do anyway. You can do what you want. I never put big money into it. No, I don't put big money into any bike, but I never really sink any dough into it until I know the frame and fork are good. So our goal now is to just get this to be a roller with a used chain. And there is a problem here. I'll get into that. That's what we're doing tonight. Then you go and test it, even with just a front brake. You know, you just got to test the frame. And if you test the frame and fork and you concur that they are a straight, true item, then yeah, buy tires, buy cables, buy, you know, do whatever you got. Sink some parts in. Look into your inventory over here and see what you got. But what I did notice, and this is one of the points of me buying this bike was, I looked before I went to look at it and I knew that I had this. Well, that's actually Schwinn, but it's not enough. But this is sky blue. It's aftermarket, not wild, but still, I have enough to make this bike correct. Now, you know, do you buy a bike because you have some vintage part? Well, some people do. You know, having the bar tape is nice. This bike came with some crappy bars. They're over there. They were just kind of shoved in there. They were incorrect. And the stem is completely seized in here. Hence, we have the torch. I hope it doesn't get to that, folks. I really hope this isn't part 3 and part 4. You know, well, I don't work on the Huffy. Okay, so let's get into this. Enough gibber John. You know a little bit about the history of the Schwinn Varsity. It got a bad name. The world's heaviest lightweight. Yeah, you know, look, it had a rack on it at one time. The plastic chain flapper thing, there's a little plastic piece here that was probably there. Might have been in later years, so maybe that wasn't there. The chain slapped around and hit that. Looks like some pretty decent wear on that front derailleur there from somebody not knowing to adjust that as you ride and get it not to rub. Like I say, in 1959, people didn't even know about bikes with derailleurs. You know, in Europe they did. And then in like 60, let's see, it all changed with the Varsity. America actually made big progress in the Olympics in 1987. They won some gold, man. They did. They dominated in 87. And that was the last year. Well, one of the last. 86 was the last year for the Varsity. Let me tell you, they weren't riding varsities in the Olympics. Okay. Anyway, let's get you on the stand here. And we got a problem. And it's a common problem. It's a problem where people just don't know what they're doing. You know, it happens. And I'm going to tell you what the real problem is. Real problem is people don't know what they're doing. I saved these cables when I took the bars off because they have these special pieces on them. We need those. We don't really need that. Maybe for testing, like I was saying. We're going to test this. You know, I'll throw a used chain on it. I'll throw some pedals on it, but we got to fix this first. And I just want to make sure it looks straight and true. But this is, you know, this is an unknown. We don't know. You could get this all dialed in. You could get new tires on here. New chain, you could maybe upgrade the back derailleur, and then you take it on its first ride and you're like, oh man, it's diving to the left and all these tires are straight where they need to be, and you're like, oh man, it's diving to the left really hard. Is the fork bent? Is the frame bent? There's no chipping here around the paint. It doesn't seem to be bent, but you just got to say, let's not sink dough into it. Let's not give up our parts. Let's not wrap it with our sky blue tape until we know the frame is straight. When you can let go of the bars and it's not diving off to the left or right too severe, I mean, it is a Schwinn. When it feels straight and true, then you go ahead. And now this frame's taller, and I can actually fit this frame, unlike the copper tone Varsity I have, which I probably will have to sell. This one actually is a little small for me, but it's not too bad. We've got some extension there. I'd probably put the drop bars on this just because I have the tape. Okay, so okay, here's the skinny. Here is the problem. What do you see here? Oh, you see an Italian stem. Oh, it looks like someone's been beating on it. Oh, what's going on here? This looks all rounded off. Oh, is this frozen in here? Yeah, it's frozen. I already tried to get it out. Anyway, so if we have to cut this off and use the torch, I don't care. I'd like to get this stem out in one piece. It's kind of a nice stem, you know. Maybe that could buff out and sand out a little bit. It does have a Schwinn, Arnold and Schwinn bolt in it. I don't think this was original, though. I think they switched this bolt over. I mean, that's an AS bolt. That's Arnold and Schwinn. But that looks like a seat bolt to me. And, oh, by the way, this was missing. When I got the bike, this was missing. And this blue bolt I just had laying around. I supplied this piece, but the stem was there. So did they take the bolt out of there and put it in here? Arnold and Schwinn? I don't know. Anyway, this is frozen. This is rounded off. It was a 12. Now it's round. So we have no qualms taking a pair of vice grips and seeing what we got. All right, we're a few minutes in. Let's get rolling here. We're 12 minutes in, and all I've done is like jibberjaw. You know, you guys are used to action. Oh, my vice grips are out in the truck. My vice grips are out in the truck. Oh, dear. Well, I'll be back in a second, folks. I got to go get my vice grips. Yeah, when you drive an old truck, you keep the vice grips, you know, in there. I'll be back in a second. Okay, we're back. I took the liberty of putting a pair of black generic mountain bars in here off camera. Got the vice grips. These are not going on the bike permanently. It's just to try to get this out. First, since this is a stripped out 12, and I'll show you it's really bad. Here is a 1/2 inch wrench. There's no way. And a 12. A 12 doesn't fit it either. Take my word for it. I tried the 12. I even tried a 12 6-sided socket. I don't care about this bolt. It's completely chewed, and this is frozen in here, and I don't believe this is even the right size. This looks like an Italian stem with an Arnold and Schwinn bolt, seat post bolt in there. Anyway, I tightened it up. We just need the leverage at this point. So let's try not to chip up the frame or anything. I'm going to put these on here. And we don't care about this bolt. I don't really care about this stem, but it's kind of nice. I mean, I'd like to reuse it on something. It's kind of got some style to it. I don't believe this stem came with the bike. Oh, yes, dear Barbara. Okay, so we're gonna hold this. And oh, look how many times that happened. Wham, wham, wham. Somebody did that a lot. We're going to try to prevent doing that. Now, I do have the torch in the background. I hope we don't get to that or the zip disc, but here goes. We're going to try to get this off. Ah! I know you heard that. I know you heard that. Okay. I guess those are good sounds. You tell me. Sounds like a haunted house door. That bolt is bent. That's what it is. Okay, now we're going to take this off. We're going to get my bronze hammer. Not that we really care. I might as well just use a ball peen at this point. I don't really care. Oh, let's do the right thing and get the bronze hammer. We got to do the right thing. Okay, bronze hammer. Not that we're going to save this bolt, but let's give it a what for. You ready? Oh, that's a good sign. Okay, before we lift this down to the ground and really get the nitty gritty. Oh man, I thought it was going to give it much more of a fight than that. Oh, wow. Woo, look at that, dissimilar metals. Look at that. Would you just look at that? Oh, look, it's only nipped there. This is probably Italian. The French like to nip another one there. This is probably an Italian stem. Because they were smart. They just did one cut in the aluminum. Okay. Oh, look, you can see the bolt right through there. Ooh, look at the dust coming out of there. That's nice. Okay. I don't know if I'm ever going to use this stem again, but it's nice to have it out. Wow, we got lucky. I was ready with the torch, folks. I mean, I was going to town here. Okay, well, I don't know what's in there. Maybe we'll look down in there with super light and see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're going to blow that out with some. Oh, yeah. That's dusty. Oh, look, there's even a... Look at that. There's an old pinch stem in there. Wow. You can't see it, but I can. There's a small little... Yeah, there's a piece in there. There's another one of these down in there. We might be able to fish it out. Wow. If bikes could tell a tale. All right, well, let's take this one. Oh, we can't get that one out. Well, let's see. What are we going to do? We need a bolt to shove in there. Well, this one ain't coming out anymore. Yeah, we're done with this one. Oh, it's coming. Yeah, let's take this sharp one that's going to cut my fingers. Oh, man. I did not think that was going to come out, folks. We got lucky. Okay, we got this one. Let's take this one and shove it in there. And, yeah, you can see how long that's been in there. Wow. Let's put this down in here and see if we can catch that. Oh. Well, that was genius. Okay. Yeah. Let's not. Okay, crisis averted. We got it out, obviously. This bolt has to go down further for you to fish that out. Yeah, there's something in there. I don't feel like taking the fork out and dealing with it. Let's get a longer bolt. Give me a second here. I'm looking for this box that has all the Schwinn stems. Oh, here it is. Okay, we got a box. All right, we're gonna get a bolt, preferably a really long one. Okay, this one's pretty long. Yeah, that'll do it. English thread, though, I'm a little worried about that. Yeah, something is in there. We're going to try to fish it out. And if we're really lucky, we'll be able to catch it and smack out a little. If this is the right, I'm just guessing on the thread. You know, I'm just guessing. This is an English bolt, but it's long. If I can catch it, we won't have to take the fork out and pound some rod in the hole where the fender goes through. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Wow. There's no way I can hold all this and do all this. This is the best I can do for you folks. Yeah, I see it down there. Dang. Yeah, it's way down there, though. It dropped way down. You know, this might be one of those cases where you just let it be. It is way down there. And it's not the pinch bolt like a Schwinn. It's the other style. And we may not even be able to get it out. Oh, that fits better. Wow, that sucker's in there. It's way down, though. Yeah, we might just let that be. I can see it. It's definitely... Yeah, I can see it. Dang. That's going to bug me. But it's way down there. Okay, so it's right there. So I measured it, and it's right here. So the pinch bolt dropped down in, whoever changed that to the Italian one. Okay. You know what? Let's fire up the compressor. Let's blow some compressed air in here and get dust everywhere. And deal with it that way. And then we'll put the right stem in. Let's just see if the right one I want to use is even going to work. Oh yeah, it's a little bit on the small side. Schwinn used a different diameter until 68 or so. This will work until I find something else. Maybe we got some Schwinn stems that... Here's a CB. Oh, that one fits good. Oh yeah, let's just use that one. We've got to blow this out. Okay, bear with me. I think I'll shut you guys off just for a second. You don't want to hear this compressor stuff. I think I'm going to use this stem and some Schwinn bars. Yeah, if they go in there. I'd like to use Schwinn bars and not use the safety levers, but we'll see. Let me shut you off for a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to fire up the compressor. And we're back. Okay, we're going to blow some compressed air in here. I spared you the annoying compressor sound, and now when I do this, there's going to be some rust coming out of this, so this is not faint for the faint of heart. Are you ready? Oh yeah. Not bad. I thought it was going to be worse. Okay, it wasn't so bad. Hope we can see that piece better in there. You know, it's one of those things, we might just have to leave this piece down in here. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it down in there. That sucks. Oh well, at least there's no giant gobs of rust. Okay, let's put this CB stem in there. I think that's as good as we're going to get, unless we can find a Schwinn stem. Let's see here. Schwinn seed post. I thought I had some Schwinn stems somewhere that were decent. Yeah, I don't see them. It was a little one. Oh, Schwinn stems. Here we go. There's not much of a selection here. Not much of a selection. Especially in that diameter. Yeah, this is Schwinn. This is a nice shiny one. That's too loose, but that's a nice one. Here's a Schwinn Varsity stem. That's too loose. Wrong year. Wrong year. Way wrong year, but the correct diameter, no, too loose. The only thing I have, although I'd really like to use this, that's a really nice one. The only thing I have is this CB, which is decent quality. Let's put some grease on there and huck it in, you know. Or not, I mean, we still got to repack everything. But just for a frame test, I think I'll just dab some grease on here. And this is what a bolt looks like when it's not rounded off. Probably a 12. We got a 12 here, and we do. Yeah, this is what a bolt looks like when it hasn't been chewed with vice grips, and it's 12. Let's put some grease on this, chuck it in, put some bars on it, and then when I do get the used chain on, I'll be able to just kind of ride it around a little bit and see. This is a complete unknown. You know, we don't know what's going on here. It is an unknown. So at this point, we're just going to chuck these in, whistle it in there, and I mean, I'm not going to test it tonight, but I can test it tomorrow. I'll put that on camera for you. And we'll go down to the burn pile or something, you know. We'll put it to the whammy. It doesn't like that 12 point. I can live with this stem. Yeah, let's wipe that excess off. And I got some shop bars here that aren't even Schwinn. I'm not going to wrap these. I think I'm just going to chuck them in there, whistle them in. And then I can quickly just put a used chain on this and go and test it. I know I put these in wrong, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I gotta spread those. Darn, I hope this is the right diameter. Let's measure these real quick. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I think this is the kind of stem you have to spread a little bit. That's kind of a bummer. Oh yeah, these will fit. I think we just got to spread that with a screwdriver. Yeah. Well, all this to test a frame. Kind of rough around here. Maybe I should have kept working on that hucking. That's too small. Is the right one? No, still too small. What is going on here? Here, Barbara. Oh, there we go. Don't drop your tools. So yeah, I hope everyone's doing good. Just go out in your shop, work on your stuff. I got a pretty good deal on this bike. You know, It's not like you're gonna pull one over on me. I know what a bike is worth. I don't think that's the right, I don't think that's correct for CB. Something's, that might be. I think that's been replaced though. Okay, we're gonna pry this open a little. And try to get these, what are these? Road Champion Sakai Customs. Okay, so we're gonna pry it open and try to get these in. Let's see, we're gonna go around and then down and through. Yeah, okay. And they pre-scratched up already. Put some vinegar on it. Yeah, my shop is looking good now. You know, I looked at Arizona Sting shop and I said, man, I gotta come up, you know. Yeah, I don't think these are gonna fit. The bend is too much. Yeah, they're scratching up pretty good. Oh, maybe. Oh, it's close. I'm really pushing it. Man, I don't know, folks. This is not good. Oh, yep. Okay. Go in already. Okay, don't scratch up. I don't want to break the stem. Not recommended. Oh shit. Man, that's not nice. I need a bigger screwdriver. Give me a second. Wow, that was not nice. Try this one. Oh dear. Now, that is not nice. You guys always see me struggling. Why can't it just be easy? Had someone to hold the frame a little bit. Nah, this is not good. Man, I need a big screwdriver. I need a bigger one. That'll work. Oh, yeah. Use what you got, right? It's not great for my tool. That was not great for my spanner, but it worked. Okay. Whew. Well, yeah, that was exciting. Yeah, if I had a chain ready, I could probably test this tonight, but it is dark outside. We don't want to run into any critters or people driving with their headlights out. It happens. Yeah, it's definitely the wrong bolt in the front here. You know, these bars aren't too bad. They are alloy. I could just wrap these. I mean, they're fitting good. They're not bad bars. They're not Schwinn though. Okay, let's tighten this 12 up a little bit. You know, there's a way to just kind of, you know, roll it around the shop and test the frame that way, but that's not really at speed. You know, you're not at speed. Wow, that headset is worn. Oh man. What kind of pile of monkeys did we get into? This headset is worn. I just noticed when you shake it around and it moves a lot here. It could be just an adjustment, but you know, the more I look at it and feel it, it is worn. Well, let's see. Do we have gears? Does this even work? Oh, look at that. Oh man. Oh yeah. We need some cabling. But we should be able to test this. Notice the steel wheels here. Those aren't plastic. Oh, and the spring is... Oh, there's the spring. Okay. The spring is just not doing spring things because this needs to be... the spring needs to come up and around. Like that. Oh, the spring is backwards. Something's going on there. Oh, right. The spring actually goes like this. Ow. Ow. Let's go grab... let's grab something that doesn't hurt your hand, huh? And let's get two hands. Hello? McFly, are you there? Okay, I'm pretty sure this goes like that. Yeah, there we go. Seems a little off though, like it should be popped in a little. That should be down a little. I think that spring is bent. Anyway, it goes like that. It keeps the derailleur back. Freewheel's not too bad. Man, if we could just find a crappy chain, we could just kind of test this tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, these actually turn. That's kind of a novelty for me. You know, something new. Yeah, and somebody put newer pads on this at one point and a better seat. I don't know why they took the... Well, we know why they took that bolt out. They put it in their Italian stem. You know what? Let's switch that back right now, because that's an AS bolt, and that goes where it's supposed to go, folks. Yeah, even though that clamp's kind of rusty. Let's make that right. This is an AS bolt, and it should go back in the bike. Pretty sure that they stole this out of the seat clamp and put it in this Italian stem, which I'm not going to use. Let's take this one out. I mean, we might as well, even though this seat clamp isn't the best. You know, we can't be having that. While we're at it, we should put some grease in there too. You know it's dry. Everything on this whole bike is dry. Dry, dry, dry. Okay. All right, let's take this off. We'll save this. I mean, it can be used on a Schwinn, even though it's not Schwinn. But this is an AS bolt. Yeah, let's put some grease on that. We'll shove it back through. And we'll put some grease on the stem. And we'll be nice, you know, we'll do it right. Yeah, hey, tune in, subscribe, throw me a like, throw me a bone here, folks, you know. I've got a... Oh, wow. Huh, that's a weird one. You need the AS clamp. It has two pegs on it. See the peg there? And the peg there. You need the actual correct clamp. I'll dig around for a second. I might even have one. Yeah, look at that. I did not see that. Okay. Let's look at my goodie pile here. Because I do save stuff like that, especially if it's AS. And if we find one, we will use it. Huh, I did not notice that. AS has 2 pegs. Yeah. See, that only has 1 peg holder there. The AS ones have 2. I thought I had an old rusty one in here. Let's give it a quick look. It's worth it, you know, to get this AS stuff going. Doesn't look too fruitful here, actually. Are you guys still with me? Are you happy I'm digging through my junk on camera? It's so fun. That's a single peg. That's a nothing, although that might work. I thought I had an AS in here. Oh, yeah, I got one. I remember now. It's really nasty and rusty, but it's here. I remember seeing it. Give me a second. I'll find it. I will find it. I might have to shut you guys off for a second. I know it's here. I saw it. It was an AS clamp. You can't miss them. They're like bigger and square and like almost forged looking. Come on now. Don't make me look silly. I know. Ah, I got it. Yes. But it's not what I thought it was. People are probably screaming in the camera right now. It's a different style, you bonehead. Yeah, that's an AS clamp. Oh, that's right. That's for the square AS bolt, and it notches in there. It's like shaped like a D. That won't work, but that is an AS clamp. Here's a regular Schwinn bolt. Darn, I don't really want to use that. I guess I don't have a choice. Darn. I was hoping to use that AS bolt. Okay, so what happened was somebody stole the Arnold Schwinn clamp that has the double notch in it. And they used it. And so we have to go to the normal one and just deal with life for now. Until I find the right one. And we have to put this goofy blue one back on. Oh, man. Well, I'll put some grease on that. Yeah. This is what you got to do. I thought I had one. I really did. I do have an AS clamp. It's just a different style. But for now, we'll just put that correct one in. I mean, it is correct. Not for this year, though. And this goofy light blue. Oh, how annoying. Well, we're just testing to see if this frame is good. It's not the end of the world here. Yeah. Okay, let's put some grease on this. We got a little grease here because it's pretty dry in there. Nobody's been doing any maintenance on this Varsity probably since 1964. Although they did put some pads on it. Brake pads. That's good. All right. Let's tighten that up. And like I say, this frame almost fits me. That's nice. Yeah, this would be a good runner. You know, this might be a bike I just convert to 700C. Although everything's here to make it right, you know. It wouldn't be the end of the world to just make it a 10-speed. And the thing about converting it to 700C is then you lose the cool frame shifters. You know, this bike is all about that it's a pre-67 bike or pre-68. This whole bike is all about those. And when you convert it to 700C, unless you're running gears, you know, convert it to 1-speed freewheel or 1-speed fixed gear, you don't use these anymore. So it'd be nice just to make this a 10-speed. Either use some of these wheels up here I have and put gears on it with 700C, or just use the Schwinn rims that are there. I mean, it's heavy as heck. It's the world's heaviest lightweight. All right, so what do we got? We got a seat. We got a stem. We got to wipe that off a little. And we have bar tape for this. So the jury's out. You guys tell me, should I throw these? I'll probably use these. I'll probably use these because these are nice. I want to save those. Those are pretty cool. That's dated 78. They got all goofy with the stem. That little like piece right there. But this one's dated 67. Or 60. Let's see, what is that? Oh, 74. Yeah. Okay, so they had the dual position brake levers in 74. They're not on here. They look like that, the dual position safety levers, like these. Yeah, so we could take these bars out, unwrap them. There's no great loss on this green tape. It's pretty faded. Put these bars in there in the CB stem. Put the dual position safety levers on and rewrap it with the sky blue tape. I think that's what's going to happen. I'm not going to use these Sakai's. I happen to know for a fact that these don't accept the dual position because of the bend. There's something going on with the bend. It's a different bend. It's just slightly different. If you look in here and you put this right there, the bend is a little bit different. It's a little bigger. This bend is a little bit bigger. I know it's hard to see. Let's see if we can do it this way. So when you do the dual position thing, see how that's up? So that's even. And see how that's up further? Well, it matters. These are out further. See how those are out further? It does matter. When you put the dual position on these Sakai bars, or bars that are not Schwinn or designed for dual position, you end up with a lever way out here. Like, it just doesn't work. It's not good. So, okay, I think that's what we got for tonight. I think the next deal tomorrow, I got a few things to do, but when I get back from fixing this planer, gotta go fix a wood planer, imagine that. I'll throw a cheap, just any shop chain on this. Thread these pedal holes out. They look okay. And these are really gummy. I'm not even gonna repack anything. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna thread these up, shop pedals, shop chain, and we're gonna go ride it and make sure that the frame and fork are straight. And then we're gonna go from there. I'm not going to invest any time or parts into this until I know the frame and fork are straight. Now, look what happened here. Somebody had a rubber piece on here. They had this little drink holder. I took it off, but it was like a little Italian chrome-plated water bottle holder, chrome. And it was like, they had rubber around here, and then on the top, they had this other clamp here, and they clamped it, and it protected some of the emblem, which was kind of cool. I'm wondering if we can get some of that off. Probably not. It's pretty cool that it says Arnold and Schwinn Company. Okay, so AZ Sting, you know, I did redo my shop. It's almost as good as your shop. You know, it's almost as good. Things are like, you know, they're here. Oh, and the vinegar's here too. Somewhere. Yeah, there's the vinegar down in there, ready to go. Hey, man, I hope you're doing good out there in Arizona. I know it's been raining and stuff, and I hope you get out for a ride soon. I thought I would just jump back on the Schwinns for a minute because, you know, modifying Huppies is great and fun and all, but my true calling is stuff like this. The world's heaviest lightweight. You know, this isn't the whammy of whammies, but it does have the down tube shifters. And that's Man, it's hard to find varsities with that anymore. You know, you find a lot of 70s after the bicycle boom and stuff. But this is almost pre-bicycle boom, 64. You can always tell. Nervar cranks, nice and gummy, and the shifters. And this diameter is bigger. To find a stem for this is difficult because it's a bigger size. These other, I got a ton of these. They don't fit very well. They're too small. Okay, that's it for now. Hope everyone's doing well. And tomorrow, I'm not going to really add to this video until I test this. I'm just going to put this video out. Hope everyone's doing good. I'm really glad we didn't have to use the torch. I was ready, folks. Man, I was going to go the distance. Okay, hey, everybody, just go out and work on your stuff. It's going to be okay. Just don't look at the news or anything. Go out and work in your job. You'll be fine. And don't work on Huffies. Whatever you do, don't modify a Huffy. Okay, later, man. Peace out. Be good. Think good thoughts.